That crumbling old workshop has to be torn down, Lisa Harrington proclaimed at the Oakwood Homeowners Association meeting, her tone slicing through the room like a gavel. And 6 months later, it was her meticulously manicured world that shattered, her lavish pavilion, her extended driveway, her iron grip on the presidency, all reduced to rubble in the most spectacular way. I stood in my kitchen, the demolition notice trembling in my fist, my heart pounding with a rage that started as a simmer and then boiled over. Because how dare this woman, this perfectly coiffed real estate queen in her tailored blazer and clicking designer heels, think she could erase 70 years of my family's blood, sweat, and love in just 48 hours, or else drown me in daily $100 fines that would pile up like a mountain, even threatening to slap a lien on my entire property, all at my own expense. I let out a sharp, incredulous laugh that bounced off the walls. The sheer gall of those words dripping with artificial authority. These self-appointed rulers had absolutely no idea who they were messing with. They'd been happily building their little empires on my family's land for years without a single whisper of permission, and now they had the audacity to issue orders on ground that had been ours since before most of them were even born. Drop a comment below because I guarantee you're about to enjoy watching this entitled HOA tyrant get exactly what she deserves in one of the most satisfying takedowns I've ever had the pleasure of executing. Let me take you back to where this all began. I'm Alex, and 6 months ago, I inherited Grandpa Jack's 2-acre slice of paradise in Oakwood Estates, a main house, his hand-built 1952 workshop that still stood proud, and a little pond where the water shimmered under dragonflies while he taught me to cast lines during those endless summer days that felt like they'd never end. Grandpa Jack was a World War II veteran who came home in 1945 with nothing but calloused hands, a chest full of medals he never talked about, and a fierce determination to build something that would last. He cleared every tree by hand, mixed every batch of concrete himself, raised that workshop log by log as his personal sanctuary and workspace. The smell of cedar shavings and old motor oil still clung to those walls like a memory you can't shake, every nail driven, every joint fitted, a testament to a man who believed in doing things right. Oakwood Estates used to be farmland back then, just 12 families scattered across rolling hills where kids rode bikes on dirt roads, where everyone knew each other's dogs by name and porch lights meant welcome. But suburban sprawl has a way of swallowing everything in its path. Now we're surrounded by oversized McMansions with names like Tuscany Trails and Windsor Crest, every house squeezed from the same beige mold. The Oakwood Homeowners Association formed 15 years ago, supposedly to maintain property values, which is code for keeping out anyone who doesn't drive a luxury SUV the original families got grandfathered in. But there's been this simmering tension ever since between us old-timers and the newcomers who moved here from places like San Diego, arriving with measuring tapes and an obsession with lawn uniformity. Enter Lisa Harrington, 52, real estate agent extraordinaire, HOA president for the past 3 years. She drives a silver Mercedes crossover with vanity plates that read, "Graced." And let me tell you, the irony of that plate will become crystal clear by the end. She's got that expensive blonde that costs hundreds to maintain, married to Mark, the insurance guy who has perfected the art of nodding along while his wife talks. Lisa moved here from coastal California 5 years ago and hasn't stopped reminding everyone about standards since. She's the kind who times how long your garage door stays open, who measures dandelions with an actual ruler, who sends emails about holiday lights being too festive. The sharp click of her designer heels on my gravel driveway should have been my first warning. It was a Tuesday morning in early April when Lisa showed up for what she called a routine inspection, which, by the way, wasn't routine or legal. But I was still in my polite phase, so I let her march across my land like she owned it, snapping photos, muttering about aesthetic standards and neighborhood harmony. Then she zeroed in on Grandpa Jack's workshop like a predator spotting prey. This temporary structure, she announced without stepping inside, violates our guidelines. It's going to have to go. I explained as calmly as I could that it wasn't temporary. It was built 70 years ago, long before the HOA existed. I told her about Grandpa Jack, about family gatherings, about childhood memories soaked into every board. Lisa listened with that fake smile real estate agent's perfect, then delivered the line that still makes my blood boil. Well, that was a different time, wasn't it? We have standards now. She handed me a 30-day notice to remove the eyesore and strutted back to her Mercedes, leaving behind the scent of expensive perfume and entitlement. That night, sitting in Grandpa Jack's old leather chair, wearing his worn gloves that still smelled of honest sweat and wood stain, I realized Lisa wasn't just coming after a building. She was coming after everything my family had built, everything we stood for, and probably everyone who didn't fit her perfect suburban fantasy. She had no idea she was about to make the biggest mistake of her life, 2 weeks into my 30-day period. Lisa turned up the heat, reducing my deadline to 14 days, claiming an emergency safety violation. Emergency. The workshop had stood through hurricanes, ice storms, and decades of weather. But Lisa brought in a county inspector, her golf buddy, pristine boots, 10 minutes poking, found hazards, condemned. Lisa gloated. I could have accepted this sham, but Grandpa Jack didn't. Raise quitters. I spent $500 I didn't have on a real structural engineer, mud-caked boots, calloused hands. His report, workshop sound, exceeding codes, Grandpa Jack built for the apocalypse. Deep foundation, forged brackets, perfect beams. I contacted the Historical Society, 70-year vet-built structure, fast-tracked for landmark, dug up 1952 permits, Grandpa Jack's handwriting. Filled me with pride. Lisa pivoted to aesthetics, new design committee of herself and cronies, retro-approved every house but mine. But her escalation woke the neighborhood. 3 original families. Offered support, Mrs. Thompson, retired teacher, dug old meeting minutes. Carlos Ramirez, hardware owner, shared selective enforcement stories. This wasn't just my workshop. Lisa targeted single parents, minorities, elderly, anyone different in her beige world. Her supporters mumbled property values, avoided eyes. Coffee in Mrs. Thompson's kitchen became a comfort. People who remembered. Community over conformity. Holding those permits. I knew this was about stopping a bully, and Lisa had given me the ammunition. Lisa wasn't about to let facts get in her way. Days after my engineer's report, she reduced my deadline to 7 days, $100 daily fines, threatened lien, my home at risk over her ego. Her social media campaign launched, maintaining standards. Cropped photos of my workshop looking like a shack, scare tactics on property values. I filed a grievance. Lisa skipped required notices, mediation, appeals, contacted the local paper, Mike Lee. 20-year veteran, loved HOA overreach. Saved the workshop, trended, Historical Society sped landmark, but my research got juicy. Lisa Harrington Realty specialized in Oakwood Estates listings. Her income tied to values, massive conflict, marketed strict standards, targeted older homes with character she couldn't sell. Lisa called emergency meeting, packed with allies, voted to override. Grievance, new emergency exemption, my deadline 48 hours, gavel like gunshots. But she forgot proper notification, community fractured, Facebook battlefield, my coalition threatened suits. Anonymous support notes, Carlos offered free demolition tools with a wink, Lisa's drive-bys doubled, silver Mercedes stalking, psychological pressure real. Mark approached at the gas station. Sleepless, she's serious, maybe compromise. Her campaign affecting her own family, but compromise with someone who'd destroy my legacy. No way. Thursday certified mail, 48 hours. Sheriff's deputy serving, Lisa vibrating with satisfaction, deputy embarrassed. Just admin. Lisa threatened legal fees, undesirable elements code, patrols documented visitors, message clear. Lawyer said $5,000 minimum, no guarantee, landmark 6 months, insurance wouldn't cover, facing ruin. That night in the workshop, Grandpa Jack's journal, building pride, outfox bullies like raccoons, cleaning for photos, loose board, metal box, 1952 surveys, my land extended 50 feet, Lisa's fence on mine. Carlos brought intel, Lisa over-leveraged, Mark worried, her value obsession. Personal, last 800 on surveyor Rachel, 30 years mapping, GPS precision, 53 feet, Lisa's driveway, 80 grand landscaping, HOA gazebo mine, 1970s wrong survey, sales flawed. Lisa title insurance liable, Every deal potentially void. Lisa Harrington Realty brokered most. Her demolition order meaningless. HOA powerless. I could demand removal or 15 years rent. 200 grand. Lisa's frantic calls sweetest sound. Mark at my door, shaking. We could lose everything. Not just stop abuse, reshape power. Could destroy her, but Grandpa Jack. Make enemies allies. Wanted justice. No more tyranny. Rachel's report in kitchen. Grandpa Jack's satisfaction. Lisa legacy attack. Gifted kingdom. Time to assemble team. Carlos Lieutenant. 20 years knowledge. Grudge on selective enforcement. Mrs. Thompson research. Decade minutes. Lisa rep to dictator. Emily Wong attorney boundary suit on payment. Goliath stories appeal. Grandpa Jack proofs bulletproof. Henry Davis. Grandpa Jack's vet buddy 86. Strategy genius. Nazis or HOA same. Control battlefield. Timing. Cool head. For phases. Quiet title eternal. Rent leverage not punish. HOA reform shield future. Public exposure bar Lisa restart. Mrs. Thompson 23 bias cases. Federal bait. Emily 25 grand permanent. Lisa 180 rent. 80 ads. Ruin. Henry best victory ends war. Overwhelming case for reform. Carlos network Lisa horrors. Labor families nicked. Elderly garden harass. Single mom Van Ding. Legal coffee resolve. Prep. Justice architect. Henry Grandpa Jack compass. Proud save hood from difference crushers. Showdown. Lisa hired PI. 3 days tailing. 2 grand for lottery habit. Tried bribing supervisor. Backfired. Emergency meeting hiked fines 500. Mrs. Thompson log violations. Smear posts. Insurance cancel attempt failed. Investigator Susan praised workshop. Value up. I documented. Everything. Binder timestamps. Photographer GPS encroachments. Lisa gazebo drive garden mine. Cam's Lisa Shark app. Henry Psyche war. Calm unravels. Wave cheerful. Repairs open. Boundary casual. Lisa grocery ambush. 10 grand drop dispute. Recorded graft illegal access confessions. Thanks courts. Panic worth nights. 10 days court. Lisa nuclear. Restraining order waves harass. Judge dismissed trespass photos. Lisa unlicensed law exposed. Patrols became stalking. Carlos supplies grill. Mrs. Thompson docs suspicious. Lisa accuser orchestrated hood stalk. Nuisance absurd. Health pond bugs. Fire hazard. Animal wildlife. Dismissed. For depths enemies. Mark Carlos 30 grand loan. Cards max. Ethics probe. 3 a.m. docs wine conspiracy. 3 board regret liability. County graft probe. Paper expose. Patients drove Lisa mad. Routine let acts damn. Trail cam my land illegal. Mr. Wilson fence scream foreclose. Doesn't watch. Meltdown sue paper. Mark support or leave. Mark divorce lawyer. Final emergency pre-court. Vote violation ignore boundary. Invited media decisive disruptor. Pressure cave. Perfect stage. Sweat perfume desperate. Voice crack windows. Shame setup. Oakwood Community Center unprecedented crowd. 47 households. Reporter photographer. County supervisor coincidental. Deputy disturbance. Lisa spotlight wrong. Front general. Projector posters. 20 slide standards. Nervous sweat perfume. 20-minute pitch values reputation duty. Dodge profit. Some disrespect. Manipulated workshop shabby. Equity crack. Mark Wentz. Attacks character. Propose 500 fines costs. I 5 minutes. Lisa confident. Thanks boundaries. Map HD. Lisa gazebo drive yard mine. Silent oh shit ripple. Survey filed. HOA void non-sub. Lisa color cycle. Impossible scream fake bribe. Onward. 15-year rent 180. Evidence bias minority labor. Corruption bids. Snaps builds mine. Graft audio. Bias posts. Mrs. Thompson oust Lisa now. Carlos second. 3485. Lisa shriek can't decider. Deputy disrupt. Supervisor bound. Calm or leave. Lisa point conspiracy yell. Lens capture. Winded offer no. Rent deed common Lisa quit reform shield. Grandpa Jack eternal tools bar abuse. Applause thunder. Weak Lisa quit email bitter. Mark divorce. Apartment kind teacher. Boundary swift. Lisa remove ads expense versus Fed suit. New board Carlos Mrs. Thompson. Protective bylaws. Potlucks. Mediation pre-fine. Pre-HOA safe. Disputed Oakwood Community Garden. Veg families. Dirt no breach. Workshop tool library. Borrow sans buy. Heritage Day diverse. Scholarship Lisa finds. Pond eco model. Lisa Arizona online consult harmless. License suspend save clients. Mark Bloom. Handyman. Girlfriend cookies. Paper reform state. Build transparency anti-bias. 3 communities change. Emily Wong thrive. I consult. Many Lisa's standards united. 6 months Sophie 9 class tour. Kids logs awe. Grandpa Jack note hid. Revenge build better. Garden laugh. Projects team. Veg sent division seeds. Victory. Comment HOA nightmare. Subscribe ordinary beat systems. Next council steal. License mistake cost all. Grandpa Jack bullies build beautiful unterrible. Justified or overreach. Revenge versus equity legacy fairness decency line. Real equity protect vulnerable power weapon. Or fight risk tyranny stop.